The Battle of Bronkhorstspruit, fought on the 20th of December 1880, was the first major battle to take place in the First Anglo-Boer War, also known as the First Transvaal War and the Transvaal Rebellion. Accompanying 34 wagons, 250 men of the 94th Regiment of Foot, under Lieutenant Colonel Philip Anstruther, were marching from Lindensburg to Pretoria, and upon arriving at Bronkhorstspruit, were ambushed by 200 Boers. Hello everyone, my name is Logan, and today we're taking a look at this fascinating, remarkable, and even forgotten battle from the First Anglo-Boer War. The annexation of the Boers in the Transvaal in 1877 sparked a hateful connection between the Boers in Transvaal and the British in Southern Africa. In early 1876, the 4th Earl of Carnarvon, also known as Lord Carnarvon, held the Secretary of State for the colonies. And in early 1876, he made the decision to annex the Boers in the Transvaal. In early April 1877, the annexation was carried out by Sir Theophilus Shepstone, who also acted on behalf of the British government. And after the British campaign in 1879 to get rid of the Zulu Kingdom, in early 1880, the war between the British and Boers had begun, marking the first start of the First Anglo-Boer War. The first major battle took place at the Battle of Bronkhorstspruit, fought on the 20th of December, 1880, which we'll be talking about today. So let's get into it. Threatened by the growing numbers of Boers in the Pretoria region, the British recalled the 94th Regiment of Foot, whom had several companies garrisoned down in the right Pretoria region. The column's commanding officer, Lieutenant Colonel Philip Anstruther, was to lead a 34-wagon column accompanied by 250 men of his 94th Regiment on a long, dry, and slow 188-mile journey from Lindensburg to Pretoria. When the British column set off, it made slow progress. A mixture of two things: all the wagons they had to pull, and the rocky, broken, rough terrain. But even though they were making very slow progress, when the column reached Bronkhorstspruit on the 20th of December, 1880, they were confronted by a small Boer party. Upon seeing the small Boer party coming his way, Anstruther ordered his column to come to a halt. The Boer party, when they arrived, handed a note to Anstruther. When Anstruther wrote the note, it demanded that Anstruther turn his column around, march all the way back from Bronkhorstspruit back to Lindensburg, obviously for multiple reasons. Anstruther refused. He was not going to turn his column around, march all the way back from Bronkhorstspruit to Lindensburg, and he was obviously not going to listen to Boers. He swatted the Boer party off and ordered his men to continue their march. At this point, most of Anstruther's men of the 94th were unprepared, most of them not even carrying their Martini Henry rifles who they had left in the wagons, and the ones who were carrying their Martini Henrys were carrying insufficient amounts of ammunition. But Anstruther ordered his men to prepare, and when they were marching just a few minutes after Anstruther refused, 200 Boers hidden in tall, long grass opened up a ferocious rate of fire on the British column. The men of the 94th quickly started following it, running to the wagons to grab their Martini Henrys and running to the ammunition boxes to grab ammunition. The men of the 94th quickly fell in, most crouching on their knees. They gave rifle fire back at the Boers, but the British rifles and their bullets went over the top of the Boers' heads. Desperately, at this point, it was not looking good for the British column. They were suffering high casualties, whilst the Boers had almost suffered none. As the British column gave desperate rifle fire back at the Boers, it was looking desperate every minute. Just minutes after, the Boers had opened up that ferocious rate of fire on the British column. Things were not looking good for the British. The British commanding officer, Colonel Anstruther, fell from his horse, wounded. He had suffered multiple wounds to the thigh, where he was later sent to a tent. This worsened the men of the 94th morale even more. Their commanding officer was injured in the tent, and they were suffering heavy casualties every second. Just 15 minutes after the Boers had opened up that ferocious rate of fire, the men of the 94th had surrendered. The British had suffered a severe loss of men. Out of the 250 men of the 94th, 157 had been killed, with a furthermore 80 wounded, whilst the Boers had only suffered 2 men killed, 5 wounded, and it does make sense because most of the British rifle fire had went over the top of the Boers' heads. It wouldn't take but a couple weeks later On the 28th of January, 1881, Sir Major General George Pomeroy Colley would suffer his second defeat at the hands of the Boers at the Battle of Lane's Neck. Oh, and by the way, I've already made a video about that. I'll leave a link at the end, and you should totally go watch it out. Very good video. Sir Major General George Pomeroy Colley was the British commander in Southeast Africa. He was also the governor of the Transvaal and Natal. And on the 27th of February, 1881, he would suffer his last defeat at the hands of the Boers at the Battle of Majuba Hill. Worse, he would be killed during the battle. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. It was very fun making, and I hope you enjoyed. I hope you are here to join me on my next video that I will be having out soon. Anyway, stay well, and I can't wait to see you next time.